I'm Christina with Stone Circle Healing, and we are just going to jump right into a little bit of astrology. And I'm kind of a big fan of anything that helps me kind of navigate my path. We're all on a journey to do special things for mankind and for humanity. And, in my career and really kind of life in general, everyone that you meet serves as, a teacher. You share your journey with them for a little while. Part of what we have to do is figure out what is the lesson, what is the opportunity, what is the blessing, and kind of reframe those things as we go along, especially if they're uncomfortable or they, make us sad or whatever. It's kind of like, no, 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 we need to kind of ratchet it up as what is the lesson? How can I be a better me after this particular encounter? And even if the encounter lasts more than a couple of minutes, what can I learn? So that's what, and in astrology, like one of the biggest, most powerful keys, the energy that's going to help us navigate and fine tune things and make those microscopic improvements to our attitude and to our thoughts, is the rising sign. And I did prepare a PowerPoint, so we'll launch into that in a few seconds. But that's really kind of my philosophy. Everyone that I've ever met, and a lot of this happens after the fact, um, I look at it as an opportunity to learn about myself. So I reflect, and it's usually like in the evenings or certain times of the year, like my birthday or around the holiday times when everyone is supposed to be happy to be with their family, and it's kind of like, why is this making me anxious, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't like being uncomfortable, but I learn. I am learning because I think it's a lifelong opportunity to be okay with being uncomfortable, because that's where I get to be a better me, more in my truth, and brush away some of the dust, which is all that yapping that goes on around us. So the astrology for me is kind of like this beautiful energy that I get to fine tune me, my perspective, my thoughts. I'm going to sprinkle in some philosophy. I do a lot of reading in the astrology that I practice. It's esoteric astrology, so it's soul's purpose. Um, but just to let you know, if you want to put a question in the chat while we're, going through this, that'd be great. I will leave time at the end if there is a comment or a question that you do have. And I think this is being recorded. Well, I know that's being recorded, so you'll get a copy of it. But keep in touch. Let me know, what you're taking away from this that is helpful. And it kind of helps you decode relationships too. If you have a significant other or children, and, their rising sign is whatever it is, this helps you decode them, right? Your understanding, your interaction with them. What are they motivated by? What is that energy? Why can't they finish projects? Why do they have these outbursts and things like that? This should help you a little bit along the way there as well. I'm going to go ahead and launch into the PowerPoint. And again, there'll be some philosophy sprinkled in. I do a lot of reading with consciousness and quantum physics and third eye. So there's a lot of that. And then I do try to give you kind of a real world example, because everybody's sitting at a desk right now or in your car, and you got to do stuff in your life to, get the bills paid and put gas in the car and those kinds of things. And you're in partnership with everyone that you work with and live with. So this is all about relationships. So the key to your soul's purpose. And thank you, Bloom. You are a beautiful community. We are a beautiful community. And again, it's about relationships. And this is just my little passionate journey, is to bring some of the astrology to you. And I'm super guessing, probably not going out on a limb too far, that everyone knows a little bit about astrology and really understands that it is glorious and powerful, and it is part of the ancient wisdom that has come to us, over thousands and thousands of years. It's practiced in every corner of the planet. I have to press the right buttons to advance. How are we doing this? All right. So I know you all can read. We're going to talk about astrology, and the esoteric way of interpreting it is from your soul's perspective. Where is your karma? What is your karma? How to resolve it? What are the blessings and opportunities in your life that maybe they're hidden, maybe they're kind of in your face? Where are the challenges? Where can you be of service? We all know that our path is something special. Where is it that you are meant to be of service? Is it in your home, your community, only your zip code, or the Southeast region, or let's just say the East Coast, since we've got Miss New Jersey here? Um, it's important to have that frame for how we approach this particular astrology, because it is soul centric. It has nothing to do with your personality, which is the cool little horoscope that we read in the newspaper, or we, get in our news feed every morning. Your personality is a tool in your toolbox, but your soul doesn't really give two hoots about your personality. So it is soul centric. How does this look and feel, and how will you progress on your spiritual path? Everyone has a unique map, and that's what we generally call your birth chart or your natal chart, is a map of your consciousness. And again, that's our unique esoteric approach. The rising sign is the same thing as your ascendant, tomato, tomato. It's the same thing. They are synonyms. It is kind of the key to the entire map. A little bit to just show you where we're going to start. So this big arrow is pointing to the position of the rising sign. This particular chart is it's called the natural chart. It is literally no one's chart, but it's just kind of a key to figuring out the map. So there are energies, and on that outer ring, you can see all of the zodiac signs. So the arrow is now pointing to Aries. And if you go down that ring, there's Taurus. It looks like the little bull. And you go down a little farther, again on the outer ring, that's Gemini, then Cancer, then Leo, then Virgo, then Libra, then Scorpio, then Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, all the way back around. The little houses, if you look at the inner ring, it's numbered 1 through 12. It's just the little wedges, the little segments, that the chart is divided up into, and it's called houses. Sometimes you'll hear it called solar mansions. I'll try to give you synonyms so that the language doesn't freak you out or derail you. Solar mansions, houses. And then the planets are that middle ring. And everything in astrology is a symbol. So this little symbol right here represents Mercury. And Mercury, actually, we're not going to dive into this, but Mercury rules the first house and is associated with the energy of Aries. We're not going to do anything with that today, but I think maybe we should do a part 2 later this year where we kind of dive into a little bit more of the chart. But the rising sign is always, always, always here. And if you look, like this little wedge is the 12th house, this little wedge is the first house. The rising sign, the ascendant, is always, always, always in this position between the 12th house and the first house. And now we're going to do a little bit of science for any little science nerds in our group today. Where are all the planets? Like, what does this all mean? Because everything is just swirling around in the cosmos. It's based on, your rising sign is based on 3 very, very, very specific pieces of data: your date of birth, your place of birth, and your time of birth. Those three things are the three requirements for us to find your rising sign. There is, and this is the little science nerdy part, that I don't know, maybe back in elementary school, junior high, middle school, we learned a little bit about, the Earth and all of the planets, the solar system. In astrology, this is a lovely graphic that will show you. So here's planet Earth. This is where we all are. And don't look at all this stuff, but I just wanted you to see this elliptic ring. So from Earth, everything out there, like there are bazillions of stars out there. And there are sections of the sky where the Virgo constellation of stars is, and the Leo constellation. And they all have, they're always in the same order, by the way, but they all have a relationship with Earth. They're always out there somewhere. Because the Earth is not perfectly round and our rotation is a little bit sideways, a little bit wonky, the constellations form what is called an elliptic band. It's an ellipse. It's not a perfect circle. So it kind of stretches out. But as the Earth rotates, every 2 hours, there's a new rising sign, new rising sign, new rising sign, which is what makes the time of your birth so important. And when we're in the summer months or the winter months, there's a greater degree of lean of earth. So sometimes this lasts a few minutes more, sometimes it lasts a few minutes less. So it's very important that we have precisely your birth time, because that's what determines the rising sign. And I just thought that this was a cool little graphic, right? So here's the sun. Here we are on Earth, right here. And here's all the planets. So when you take that and translate it into a natal chart, well, bam, well, bam, well, bam, well, bam, there's all the planets. And here you are on Earth. Got it? So what we're going to do is we're going to dive in. And this particular graphic down here in the corner is from a website called Astro Cafe, and they have the cutest graphics ever. And they're a very good website. They do talk about the rising signs, not from an esoteric perspective, but from a traditional perspective, which is what we've all grown up with. Not that esoteric is new. It's actually, thousands and thousands and thousands. We are taught in our studies that it originated in Atlantis, and then it was lost, and then it was found again in Egypt, and then it was lost, and it's reemerged in the 20th century. So this is kind of just the more modern version of the ancient teachings. But if Aries is your rising sign, there are certain things that are kind of your super secret decoder ring for knowing what it is that your soul is to experience in this lifetime, or that you are to do, that where your opportunities are, your karma, and we'll repeat that a couple of times. And again, everything is symbolic. So when we look at, this is the symbol for Aries, it looks like the ram, right? But look at this also differently, that it's a fountain that is spewing out these beautiful ideas that reach higher and higher, going from this area, down here, it's combined, but it's going up and up and up and out. So it's the expression of ideas that are higher and higher. And again, that's part of how Aries, um, Aries risings will live their life. They are a fountain of ideas, a fountain, like when you have a brainstorming session, Aries risings are probably the ones to come up with the most ideas in this brainstorming activity. And maybe they bear fruit. Maybe they just go out there and linger for a little while. Aries risings, again, meet things head on. Don't dilly-dally. Like, let's take action. If it's worth doing, let's do it now. Um, there is the concept of sovereignty. Aries' motto is I am. So they firmly plant their feet and they say, you know what? Let's do the most good that we can. Let's take that action. Let's go for it, kind of thing. There is a very spiritual aspect to Aries rising, and that is everything is an emanation of the divine. There is divinity in everything. Everything is sacred. The plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, the mineral kingdom. We are all connected, and Aries risings know that we are connected. And Aries risings, we want to be the leader. Let me show you. I am studied. I am a leader. I am willing to learn more, and they are kind of symbolically the torchbearer. Aries is a fire sign, so you can think about Aries rising. We are the torchbearer. We're the line leader. We're the ones, carrying the Olympic flame, along the route and then up those steps and lighting, the big Olympic torch. It really is kind of this line leader. I'm willing to do the hard work, but I also want to transform my mental energy, my heart energy into something that's productive. Taurus rising looks like the little bull, right? And it also, because I'm really into like symbology of shapes and things, Taurus, like this can be like a side view of a bag or a vessel that you're holding, like it's tied at the top. You're carrying things. And down here in the corner, again, this is from Cafe Astrology. Um, yeah, Cafe Astrology. Or Astro Cafe. Oh, I'm so sorry. But Taurus rising. So if you are a Taurus rising, this is where Taurus is going to sit, right on that horizon line in between the 12th house and the first house. And because we're talking about our soul's purpose, our soul's energy, it is the right use of things. Don't misuse the planet. Don't misuse a screwdriver for a hammer. um, you use the right tool for the right things. Have what you need what you have. It's a very practical kind of makes sense type thing. If you want to have, a garden, you have to plant the seeds. You have to provide the proper pH for the soil and things like that. But it's also the seeds of kindness and good thought, and goodness begets goodness, right? So it is the right use of things, and those things can be words. It can be space. It can be the relationships. We've all heard this, or at least I hope you have heard this, thoughts become things. And Taurus is very practical. Think good thoughts and good things will come from them. And it doesn't get any more complicated that. It's rather simple, and that's where the elegance is, in the simplicity. Taurus is often associated kind of in the regular world with money and real estate and tangible treasure type things that we can hold. I want to also tell you that prana, like our energy, our life force energy, can come from very ordinary things, the buying and selling of goods or services. It's a very simple kind of idea, but it's very practical, and there is a lot of energy associated with that. Money is a tool, right? Money is just a tool, but it gets us what we want. And we can, we barter. Like, I think we should go back to bartering a lot of things. And we can do that, right? So it's just the exchange of energy, what is of value, which is very Taurus. But buying and selling things has that kind of energy with it. Nobody wants to have a used car salesman, right? And Taurus risings, we always look for the greater possibility. What could this thing be? as it starts to grow. We've planted the seeds. Are we going to have, a huge harvest at the end of the year? Well, you've got to plant the seeds. You've got to make sure the soil and the sun and the drainage and all of that. So be aware of the greater possibilities, because if you don't, plant the seeds, you'll never, grow a crop. So you got to do what needs to be done. And Gemini is kind of super fun. Gemini gets, kind of a bad rap sometimes, because it's like, do you want Chinese or Italian tonight for dinner? It's not like that in esoteric astrology at all. It really is the harmonization of the two sides. You know that you need nourishment and sustenance, but you should enjoy the food as well. It's the spiritual cause and effect. It's You can't have one without the other. So you shouldn't have to choose between, going out to a restaurant and eating at home. What can you do? Well, go get takeout and bring it home and sit on the living room floor and, binge watch Bridgerton or something. But it's kind of like bringing that together. That is the opportunity that we have as spiritual beings on the path to learn about our own self. How do we bring all of that together? What is the relationship between things? And I want to tell you, Gemini rising, we need to spend time with our thoughts, with our coaches and teachers, with the podcasts, but we also need to assimilate that and give the teachings as, oops, sugar, give the teachings as gifts, right? Because that's when they become your truth. When they become part of your awareness and your new frame on things. It's a new opportunity where you have a relationship with another person, with a coach, with a student, with a new language, with a new idea. It take what you need and discard the rest, or at least set it aside till you need it. It's up to you. The relationship between you and your higher self, which is your thoughts, your feelings. And that's the last bullet here. Understand yourself relative to other things. um, it's bringing together what matters, and you're constantly in a state of measuring. Like, it's kind of like stay in your lane, but go through that little doorway, go through the archway, the portal, go get what you need, go have the experience, live your truth, be more who you are. Cancer gives us the opportunity, or Cancer rising gives us the opportunity to basically sing our own tune, march to the beat of our own drummer, sing, live expressively. Whether it's arranging furniture or writing poetry, you have to be, Cancer risings, we have to understand what our creative outlet is, because that creativity comes from feelings. It's not really, an intellectual operation here. Use your imagination. Cancer risings, we use our imagination to problem solve. We anticipate other people's needs, especially when it comes to our home. Do my children need warmer socks? Do they need a little blanket? Do they need a hug? Do they need me to just back off? Cancer rising, we're constantly testing and measuring things with our feelings. Um, Cancer rising, we appreciate not being confrontational. There's always a way to make a point without confronting someone, like we do as an Aries rising. So Cancer, you can look at this shape as well, and it looks like maybe two little eyeballs, right? Well, if it doesn't, I'm telling you that as a Cancer rising, our eyesight, our vision, the way we see things, our perspective matters. And it's okay to take a breath and dive deep into the well. What really are we trying to say? What really are we trying to see? What really matters here? Other people's comfort. And being nurturing. What does that person need from us that I can give? Whether it's, socks and a blanket or a hug or it's space, but it's that creative expression. And, be colorful, have fun, pay attention to your dreams. What are you daydreaming about? Cancer risings, we're very creative in our imagination. We can make up stories in the blink of an eye, fairy tales. And sometimes it's like, gosh, write this stuff down. We can make up lyrics to a song. We know when we listen to songs what is out of place in the whether voices and instruments go together or they just sound all kind of wrong. It's very expressive, but it's kind of like an interaction. That's what this swirl around here is, the interaction with the melody, with the thoughts, with the color, with the cadence. It's a and I'll share with you, I should have said this at the beginning. All of these energies are in everyone's life. All of these energies are in everyone's chart. But as a Cancer rising, it really is infused in our whole life, throughout our journey, throughout our relationships, throughout our career, throughout our volunteerism. That energy is what permeates everything. Leo, who doesn't know any Leos, right? Leos have the most biggest heart, the most generous spirit. They're very regal and identify with the crown, the pretty things, the glitter, the glamour, the celebration, where we live and bring vitality, where we shine the flashlight. Like, what's important? Leos bring it. They're the ones in the middle. We are the ones in the middle of the dance floor. We're the ones with the gold lame dress, right? It's that vitality, but it's our soul's expression of the glorious aspect of life and living and vibrance. Leo risings, we're very protective of the people we love. We're very protective of people that are being bullied, that can't take care of themselves, or that, we perceive as needing a little extra, like, I'm going to put my arm around and help you. Leo risings, we're very generous with our time, our attention, our gifts. We are always giving a smile and have a compliment ready, a sincere compliment. Leo rules the heart, right? So it's always very heartfelt. It always comes from a place of love. Leo risings, we are very, very loving, but don't test, right? Because we're lions and lionesses, and there's no gamesmanship. You're not going to cheat and me not call you out on it. Leo rising, we're very good at basically saying, "Oh, no, 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 you're out of bounds," or things like that. Again, it's with that sincerity, that love that we have, that knowing, that heart center. Virgo rising, very, very, very devoted to service. Virgo risings, we are the ones that come in early, work through lunch, stay late. We turn the lights on, we turn them off. We make sure that the coffee pot is full, because that's how we express our our devotion to service, to making sure that everyone has what they need so they can be productive, because that's what brings us the greatest joy as Virgo risings. We are the problem solver. And one of the things that we do that probably we need to be aware of, because that's what this whole masterclass is about, is being a little more aware, is not everybody wants to have their problem solved. So we need to understand when we're getting feedback that, oh, no, 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 I just want to vent. You don't have to solve the problem. And we've all, known people like that. But we're also inquisitive. What if, what if I made a left-hand turn? Could I get to where I'm going and see a different vista? What can I learn from this little detour? What can I learn by being in the longest line at the checkout counter? Or waiting behind people that are making an order for a coffee that takes a minute and a half, because there's so many intricacies. What can I learn? And then how can I use what I learn to fine tune myself to make my service that much more valuable and helpful? It's a path of purification. And as Virgo risings, we like tidy things. We have everything's in its place and everything has a purpose. And kind of like Taurus, we have what we need and nothing more. Simple is better. But it's a path of purification. What don't we need? What can we get rid of now? We work to experience the divinity in things. And Virgo risings, it's a constant opportunity for us to see the spark of the divine in other people, even if they get on your last nerve, even if they just annoy the snot out of you. Virgo rising, our opportunity basically is to say, you know what? They're doing their ever loving best. They have an opportunity to be a little better, but I'm not going to basically get mad at them because they didn't use their turn signal or they cut in front of me in line or they interrupted me while I was talking. It's really okay because it's not about me, it's about them. So they're doing their best. There is a spark of the divine in them, and thank goodness I get to see that they're struggling with something. And this is part of, in the Bloom retreat we talk about self-care. Part of that is the purification, the self-care, where we observe the divinity in the things that we interact with. It's a reflection back to us of what really is good and necessary and divine, if you want to use that word. And we are devoted to service, service in our home, in our neighborhood, in our office, and in our community, in our tribes, wherever those places are. And each of these things kind of blends into the next one. Hopefully, I'm doing a good job of kind of drawing that little string from one to the next, because Libra, which is a pretty cool glyph here, it's actually a roadway and a tunnel and kind of a bridge. So Libra risings, it's very important that we have collaboration and partnership with other people. But it's very important that we have collaboration, our lower self with our higher self, our physical need to be here and put gas in the car, once a week or to navigate to work, but also with what is the spirit, the nature of the relationship. Is it, are we on the same page? Are we, because the spirit of the law, if anyone's ever been on a team or worked in an office, everyone has their own individual parts. But here, it's very important to collaborate with other people. But if you're not clear on everyone else's part, it can be confusing. Everyone needs to get on the same page. And if we're not in agreement, then there's conflict. Now, the cool thing about conflict is it helps you figure out what isn't working. Oh, when I say blue, am I saying navy blue or robin's egg blue? It's not, blue doesn't always mean blue. It could be, variations of that. What is intended here? So as Libra rising, it's very important. Say what you mean what you say. Okay, there's some authenticity to that. And Libra rising, please, please, please don't try to pin us down. We want to go where we want to go when we need to go there. It is about freedom and movement. And actually, Libra rising, we have a very special relationship with our car, with our vehicle, because it is an expression of our ability to move about freely. And we are the peacemakers. And there's nothing that makes us happier than having peace and harmony. Um, if we can help other people have that as well. Libra risings, we're awesome mediators. We are very good at kind of translating things to help people figure out where the disconnect is. Scorpio rising, this is death for the purpose of rebirth. It really is our superpower, is understanding that every ending is the predicate for a new beginning, like reduce, reuse, recycle. This is the, kind of the spiritual version of that. What do I need to give up to make room for something bigger and better? Sometimes it's a bad habit. Sometimes it's a thought that kind of interferes with your productivity. Make peace with what is. This is where adversity and Scorpio risings, we love sensory experiences because why else have a human body if you can't eat the giant meatballs with all of the sauce and the cheese and the pasta? That's part of having a beautiful human experience is having these sensory experiences that you can appreciate being human, right? Your thoughts, your feelings about certain things. Scorpios, again, the Scorpio personality gets kind of a raw deal. Like everyone thinks that they're going to get stung by a Scorpio. Well, Scorpio risings, we really are um, the phoenix that rises from the ashes. We really are the new and improved version of something that has just gone through a really tough time. Um, and I probably should have rephrased this, but there is opportunity in adversity. You just have to basically accept it. Scorpio risings, we are very good at saying, you know what? I got to go through the trials, the tests. I got to go through the muck. I got to go through the political baloney. I got to go through the interview with the board of directors. I've got to go through this to get to where I'm going. And I will do it. I will persevere. I will be victorious. Even if I don't get the job, there's something out there that really is even better for me. Thank goodness I didn't get it. Regenerate, recover from adversity. Oh, look, that's a repeating pattern here. I guess it's important. But Scorpio risings, we really are very dynamic and rather emotional. Like emotions rule the day. We know what we feel and don't even try to change that. It just won't happen. So Scorpio risings, we're really very much about live and let live, but I'm on my path and, don't try not to get in my way. But if you do, we'll figure it out and I will, come out of this better and stronger and smarter and wiser and more willing to express compassion and tolerance. Sagittarius, Sagittarius rising, we are very adventurous. We're willing to take risks. We will shoot for the stars. We will aim for the stars. It really is our highest aspiration. But we also understand, see this little line here? And again, we're going back to the shape, this glyph. It started out beneath the surface. So here's all of that undercurrent that basically is we're going from the unseen into the seen. We're going from this feeling into something that is an outward expression. But it's also the ability to rise above problems. Like, let's look at it from a different perspective. Is it really a problem, or is it an opportunity for us to learn a new way to figure something out? It is about the higher spiritual knowledge. And this is where the importance of a sacred journey or reading good sacred texts. Where are you spending your focus? Are you paying attention to the Kardashians, or are you reading a spiritual text that gives you kind of insight into your journey and how to be um, circle up, spiral up? There's something that's just escaping my brain right now. But Sagittarius risings, we're very driven. We like to start projects. We like to rise above problems. And we don't even like calling them problems. We like saying opportunities because it really is about a different perspective. Think about if you were, in the higher layers of the stratosphere or out in the cosmos, you're going to see things differently. And that's what Capricorn rising, sorry, I don't have a graphic, but Capricorn rising is on the mountain, right? Uh, the sea goat that's going up the mountain. And sort of that's what this glyph might even look like. Like there's the ravine and there's the climb up the mountain and there's the sea goat's tail. You really are. We really are Capricorn rising. We are the elder brother. We are the one on the path that is doing the hard work, which is sometimes isolating. So, Capricorn rising, we need to understand that sometimes we are going to be by ourselves. Sometimes we are going to be uncomfortable. We are going to have to carry a heavy load, heavier load than the people around us. We may be uncomfortable. We may be hungry. Our knees might hurt, but the path is worth it because it's a climb up the mountain. And as you go up the mountain, sometimes the path gets narrow. Sometimes, there aren't trees anymore. You're up in the clouds. It's colder. It's isolated. But when you look down, the perspective is quite beautiful. The sounds of all of the chaos aren't there. It is hard to get that far, but we're willing to do the work. It's a path of initiation. And this kind of some people, I want you to take it the right way because the path of initiation really is about being better, doing better, thinking better. But we do that through the trials and tribulations. And you've heard like all of the super crazy smart self-help people that tell you, through adversity, you get to be better. You don't learn lessons from being comfortable and happy. I kind of think you do, but the trials and tribulations teach you a lot about yourself, like what really is, what am I made of? Capricorn rising, we absolutely believe without any margin on either side of into harmlessness. Planet, our relationship with the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the mineral kingdom, do no harm. Ever, ever, ever. There is never a good reason to shortchange anyone or litter. And sometimes that makes us kind of odd man out. Well, if they get their feelings hurt, then, that's on them. Well, that's true. But I don't want to say something intentionally, Capricorn risings. We won't say something intentionally to harm you. And we understand that it is a long, slow process, that the path is going to take a little while. And our soul basically is laying everything out and giving us opportunities to be on the path. If we need new shoes, we get new shoes. If we can help someone, we help someone. But it really is just that long of a path. And it happens when it happens. Don't get impatient because you're done all the work. Now you want the reward. It doesn't happen that way. Capricorn rising is one of your best friends. We know that it just takes a while. Give it another try. Take a breath, take a pause, drink some water. Aquarius rising, it really is like Aquarius rising is, the motto is I know. And if you were Aquarius rising, I am Aquarius rising, we know that we know what we know, right? And we know how to spiritualize a lesson. And it's not necessarily finding the silver lining, or kind of what people have said in the past, oh, they're in a better place. It's not like that at all. It really is. What does this mean? What do I know this means? Well, I'm sad, or there's sadness in me. It's temporary. Aquarius rising, we realize that all of that is temporary. Aquarius rising, we require the right relationships. So in our journey, that's knowing that is very, very important. And it's not always clear who's got your back, who's on, Team Margaret or Team Christina, who is who's got our back. So this is kind of, see the little squiggly waves. It's kind of like, oh, I need to be with that for a few minutes. I need to feel what that feels like. I need to marinate in that for a few minutes. And if you turn it on its side a little bit, it really is about going up, like ascending, going up. Aquarius risings, we need to talk it out. We ask for help understanding things. And we also, we take our own little private path to finding out things because whatever we read, whatever we listen to, whoever we talk with, it's an interactive experience. What can I learn from this? And we do come together for a purpose. If Aquarius risings, if we are on a team, we are on the team. We are full on. If we work in an office, we are on team office. If we're doing something by ourselves, a solo journey, it really is, how can I engage all of the things that will help me on my particular path or with my particular project? How can I bring that all together? And finally, Pisces rising. Pisces rising, again, it's here, it's how it looks in the chart. Pisces rising, and again, we look at the glyph, it is about humility. So you can look at this as kind of like you're bending inward, you're going in your cave. And Pisces rising, we're very devoted. We have a very strong devotion, but it comes from within. We like tradition, we like ceremony and those things because that is in our expression of our humility, things are bigger than us. It really is about the bigger plan. And sometimes we have to contemplate that in our cave, in our quiet space, in our own private little sanctuary. Pisces rising, we always know that there's something more. So if you see a silhouette of something, you know that there's something beyond that. And we see that like in the evening time when the sun is just right and you can see the silhouette of the trees or whatever. It's kind of like, well, there are beautiful trees. But looking at kind of the blackness of the silhouette of the trees, it's a place to contemplate. And we do grow through discovering, but again, it's going in that cave, it's going in that quiet space to be devoted. When we look at traditions, whether it's, a church or a sanctuary or, anything that follows a certain recipe, there's a reason behind it. And we don't always know what that reason is, but we can contemplate how it makes us feel. This is me.